Yo guys, I'm back with another Inside the Mind, and in today's episode we're going to be looking at the optimal EAFC 25 settings that you need to have on. But before we start the video, I've been informed that 80% of you guys that watch my videos are not subscribed, so I'd highly appreciate it if you drop a sub, make sure you join me on Twitch almost every day I'm live, and drop a follow on my TikTok. All the socials are in my description. So we're actually going to get straight into it. To begin with, shot assistance needs to be on precision. Read the description. It literally says aiming at the goal results in more accurate shots and faster ball speeds. This just means if you're in and around the box and you pull up 2.5 bars of power, it will fly through the net. The keepers cannot save it, and the benefit of that is sometimes you don't even have to green time it. And then we're going to get into time finishing. This is non-negotiable. You need to have time finishing on. It is absolutely so incredibly vital that you have this on. It is an absolute game changer. The shots that should never be going in, all of a sudden go in because you've green timed them. If you're worried about practicing, just get into squad battles. I understand this June, but look, we're all going to be most likely playing FC26. So you may as well get a couple of months ahead, 1 or 2 months ahead, learn green timing, learn precision, and I can promise you at the start of the next game, you'll be way better. So for passing, I'm only going to look at one in particular. They should all be semi-semi, assisted, 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 late, and normal. Let me explain why pass receiver lock needs to be on late. So the main reason why it needs to be on late is because if you read the description, it says the pass receiver lock is as late as possible around the same approximate time as when the ball is kicked. So all this means is, let's say for example you're your cam and you're about to pass to your striker, but just in the last second you see that the striker is covered by a centre back. You can quickly switch that pass to your left winger, for example. The reason that's beneficial is because of those last second switches that you need to do. It's absolutely amazing and you need to have it on late. Okay, we're going to get into defending. With defending, both of these are negotiable. Clearance assistance and defending. The reason they're negotiable is one, for classic assistance, I have it like this because the second I click circle, it's getting booted out, it's getting cleared. The reason I like that is because first of all, I very rarely clear the ball. I very rarely click circle in a defending situation. But in the off chance that I do, the second I click circle, I'm wanting to get booted out anywhere. I know it's last second panic situation and I've clicked circle to clear the ball. That's why I prefer it on classic. However, if you're a bit more composed, you can have it on directional because this allows you to pick where the ball gets cleared to. The main part about the directional one is off corners. You do not want to click X, so the pass button. You do not want to click the pass button off of corner. The reason that is because it's going to knock it down onto the floor and then it's a 50-50 situation. So for directional, if off corners you click circle, sometimes if you have it on classic, it could go out for another corner, which in the last couple of minutes of the game you don't want. However, if you have it on directional, you're in total control. Okay, now for the defending, I have tactical defending. Take a second, pause, read both descriptions for tactical and advanced. The reason I have tactical and classic on this is because it's automatic. The game lets itself pick whichever situation it feels is better in. If I click circle next to someone, it's going to body them. If I click circle in front of someone, it's going to do a stand tackle. However, if I'd switch this to advanced, if I click circle next to someone, it will do a stand tackle. And if I click next X next to someone, it's going to do a shoulder barge, which basically activates Bruiser. The reason I prefer both tactical and classic is because, like I said, it's automated. I don't have to worry about it. But again, if you're a high level player and you want those minuscule thingies that matter in the game where, you know, in the odd occasion, you might accidentally slide tackle someone or stand tackle someone, where in an ideal world, it would have been better if you could control that situation. So for me, it's personal preference. Both of these, I have it on classic and tactical, but I'd experiment. If you really want to improve and you want to look at the tiny differences between you and a very good player, it might be a good opportunity for you to look at these two and decide which you prefer. Okay, next we're going to look at switching. This is, again, all of it is practically personal preference. The reason I run it this way is because I've run it like this for years, like genuinely probably a century now, I don't even know. But there's a couple things. In right stick switching reference, you can either do player relative or ball relative. The reason I have player relative is because I right stick switch every single time. I very rarely click L1. If I'm clicking L1, it means I'm panicking. I'm in a bit of trouble. The reason you should have it on player relative is because ball relative, if I'm right stick switching, I'm kind of not in control. If the ball goes ever so slightly out of range and I have right stick switch, it might right stick switch to the wrong person. So I'm not in control. I prefer being in control of basically every situation. So for me personally, player relative. Right stick sensitivity, I'll be honest, this again, personal preference, experiment with it, see what you like. I can't tell you what you like. This is one of those things. It's like Fortnite. Certain keybinds are going to work better for me than they are for you. So it's probably better that you just try it out, experiment, and see what you like. And then next player switch in, this is non-negotiable, it needs to be on classic. And even, by the way, even if you have reaction time calibration off, turn this to 0. And again, player lock, listen, if you don't know player locks, learn player locks. This is arguably one of the biggest skill gaps in the game. This is what separates a lot of high level players compared to you guys. And then for the bottom few settings, this is how I run it. You should not have analog sprint on no matter what. And then I'm pretty sure these two, they just add a little bit of delay to your controller. Okay, we're now going to get into camera settings. And I know some of you that may have come from TikTok know that I used to play telebroadcast 15 height 0 zoom. However, very recently, I was enlightened, you know. Although co-op does give you a little bit more delay, simply because there's so much more that the game has to load in, I realized it's not worth the drawbacks of telebroadcast. On occasion, I can't even see what's going on the other side of the pitch. So if I'm defending and someone's left back is out of place, I won't be able to see it on telebroadcast. However, on co-op, I can see the whole pitch, and it means that I can see enough that I can plan ahead. Let's say the guy's left back is all the way at left wing, and there's a gap there. I can force my right mid to make a run, and now I'm in an advantage situation. So at the moment, the way I'm running it is this: 20 height, 0 zoom, and then all of this is 10 or 0. Ball tracking speed and zoom is 0. The rest is all 10. Okay, so game settings, I'm not really going to explain anything. This is more personal preference. It's just a couple visual things. However, one thing I would like to look into is the celebration camera focus. So if you didn't know, if you switch this to user controlled team, when someone's celebrating, you won't see their celebration. So you can't assume that it was a griddy. Obviously, if you're 1-0 down, last minute, someone's most likely going to have that automatic celebration where everyone's just running around like crazy. But the reason I would say turn this off, turn it to user controlled team. The reason I would do that is because, listen, people get tilted so easily. If I see someone greedy on me, although it gives me motivation, at the same time it makes me so angry, I might not play like I usually do. I could be an elite rank 1 level player, but I all of a sudden start playing with like someone that's in Div 5 just because my head is gone because of head loss. So I'd highly recommend turning this off, honestly. And then anyway, let's continue. Just scrolling down, see what you need to see. If you have anything that you have questions about, I'm more than happy to answer them in the comments below. Yeah, there's nothing else here really that I would like to highlight. Okay, audio is another thing. If you're on PlayStation, I would recommend these ones if you want the sound to come out of your controller. So these are the audio settings to make sure that you have the goal net sound coming out of your controller. And then here, last but not least, you need to have favor resolution because enhanced visuals just makes it a little bit more delayed. There's ray tracing, so of course your frames might go up and down. And then the most important one, if you're on PlayStation or Xbox, crossplay enabled, turn it off. Only reason I have it on at the moment is because I'm playing rivals. When you play champs, when you play a serious game mode, if you're in your last game into elite, if you're in your last game for promotion, turn your crossplay off. Unless you're on PC, then you're in trouble. I'll be honest. If you're on PC, yeah, that's your own problem. Hackers, that's on you. You decided to play on a console that can have all those issues. Anyway, I would highly recommend turning this off when you play champs. Anyway, coming to the end of the video now. Last but not least, I just wanted to show my tactics that I'm currently using. These are absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend a formation with 2 DMs and left mid, right mid. That could be 4-2-3-1 or the 4-2-3-1 that they have as well. There's so many different things you can do. This is how I run all my assignments at the moment. You know, these two for the corner headers. He's just there for that extra man back post if the guy ever moves the keeper a bit too far. I've recently been enlightened that short passing is the way. Short passing is absolutely amazing. I would highly recommend switching to it if you can. Anyway, that's about it. I appreciate everyone that's come all the way from TikTok or Twitch or whatever it is now. You know, I'm hitting some pretty decent numbers, and I'll just humbly like to thank everyone and of course Allah for helping me get to this situation. And anyway, make sure you like the video, share it with anyone that needs help, and yeah, take care guys.